This video did not come to you by chance. Maybe you just glanced at the screen, maybe you clicked without thinking, but the truth is, none of this is a coincidence. There is a bigger reason why you are here now. It could be God's calling. It may be the silent voice of the universe. Or it could simply be your future self, who knows it's time to open your eyes to something you need to hear. Take a deep breath for a moment. Feel the air come in gently, feel the air go out slowly. Realize that, in this simple gesture, you are already connecting with a truth that was dormant within you. After 70, life seems to change pace. The body no longer responds in the same way. The mind seems to get tired faster. The heart often carries silences that no one sees. And in the midst of all this, a subtle but real feeling emerges, that happiness is becoming distant, like a sun slowly setting on the horizon. How many times have you woken up without any desire? How many times have you noticed that the joy of your days seem to have turned into a heavy routine, marked by pain, memories, or absences? And deep down, maybe you've accepted that this is just the price of time. But what if I tell you it isn't? Happiness does not disappear with age. It has no expiration date. What often exists are silent mistakes, small habits, choices repeated without realizing it, which extinguish the light within. They are like invisible chains, which bind the heart and prevent it from expanding. They are like shadows, hiding the brightness you still carry. Imagine an old window, covered in dust. The sunlight is still out there, strong, alive, ready to come in. But the accumulated dust prevents it from illuminating the room. This is also the case with life. Happiness didn't go away. It's there, just waiting for you to clean the inner windows, to make room for it to shine again. And that's what we're going to talk about. The mistakes that seem small, but that repeat themselves day after day, taking away your smile, your strength, and your peace. The most curious thing is that almost no one talks about them. But they are present, hidden in the details of routine, like silent thieves of joy. Have you ever felt that something inside you still asks for more? As if a soft voice said, "It's not over, there's still a lot to live." That voice is right. It doesn't matter if you're over 70, 80, or 90. There is still a space of light, of joy, of fullness waiting for you. And that is why this call has come to you today. It's no coincidence. It is a necessity. It's destiny. As you listen to these words, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to imagine that you are not here just to listen, but to transform. Allow yourself to believe that it is still possible to find the happiness that seemed distant. Because the truth is simple and profound. It is not time that steals your happiness. These are the mistakes that you often never realized you were making. And by recognizing them, by naming them, you will discover that the joy is not gone. She was just hiding, waiting for the right moment to be reborn. That moment is now. And you're ready to open that door. Have you ever noticed how pain after 70 seems to multiply silently? The body wakes up tired, even after a full night's sleep. The legs feel heavier, as if each step takes more effort. The mind, once quick, begins to fail in simple details. A name that escapes, a memory that takes a long time to come, a word that gets stuck on the tip of the tongue. And it's not just the body. There is an invisible weight that accompanies the hours. It's the feeling of loneliness, even when the house isn't empty. It is the silence filled with memories, which insists on visiting during the early hours of the morning. It is the heart that wonders if happiness has not already been left behind, along with the years of youth. Maybe you've looked in the mirror and felt that the reflection doesn't match what you feel inside. The face marked by time tells a whole story, but inside you there is still a spark that wants to live, that wants to smile, that wants to feel joy again. And this contrast, between what the body shows and what the soul desires, often hurts. But make no mistake. This emptiness you feel is not natural. It is not a condemnation. It is born from silent mistakes, repeated without realizing it, that drain your energy and extinguish your hope. And most people believe they can't do anything about it. They accept it as if it were destiny. But it isn't. You are not doomed to live your mature years in pain, sadness, or lack of vitality. There is a path to finding happiness again, and it begins with the simple act of recognizing what steals it. When you discover these mistakes, you hold the key to transforming your present. And when that key turns, doors that seemed locked open. Imagine waking up feeling light, feeling that the body responds, that the mind opens, that the heart beats with hope. Not as something distant, unattainable, but as a possible reality, which already exists within you and only needs to be awakened. As you listen to these words, perhaps you feel something inside your chest, a desire to believe again, a soft flame that begins to ignite. This is no coincidence. It's life calling you to wake up. So stay here. Let yourself be led along this path. Every word that reaches you is a seed of transformation. And if you want to continue receiving these signs of clarity and light, sign up now. So whenever new truths are revealed, they will find you, reminding you that there is still time, there is still life, there is still happiness to be had. Do not ignore this call. Happiness has not disappeared. It was just covered up by silent choices. And by recognizing this, you are already taking the first step towards bringing back the harmony that has always been rightfully yours. Perhaps, for a long time, you believed that all these changes were inevitable. How many times have you heard someone say, "That's just how it is, it's just the way it is"? And little by little, these words turned into an invisible sentence. A sentence that makes you accept pain as natural, tiredness as destiny, loneliness as an obligatory part of the journey. But that is not the truth. Happiness is not lost simply because the years pass. It hides behind choices that seem small, but that are repeated every day. And it is precisely in them that the key to change lies. It is not time that decides your happiness. They are the habits you cultivate, the thoughts you nurture, the attitudes you repeat silently. And if it was habits and mistakes that extinguished your vitality, it is new habits that can rekindle it. The body does not forget what it is like to live in harmony. He holds old memories, memories of when he was light, agile, full of energy. And even now, after so many years, he remains ready to respond when you offer him what truly nourishes him. The same happens with the mind. She may be tired, confused, but she only needs to be enveloped by new gestures of clarity and calm to blossom again. Think about it. An abandoned garden, overgrown with weeds and dust, still holds within its roots the ability to flourish. All someone has to do is remove what is suffocating, water the earth, and allow the light to reach it. So it is with you. So it is with all of us. The vitality did not disappear. It was just covered by layers of neglect and silence. When you look inside and realize that age is not your enemy, but rather accumulated small mistakes, something changes. The weight becomes lighter because now you know you are not doomed. Happiness hasn't gone away. It's waiting for you to invite it back. And it is at this moment that a new hope is born. Because if it's not the weather that's to blame, then there's something that can be done. And that something is in your hands. Not in miracles, not in empty promises, but in simple, daily choices that awaken what already exists within you. Age can mark the skin, but it doesn't have to mark the soul. The years may bring wrinkles, but they don't have to steal your joy. Time may take some things, but it can still offer others: clarity, calm, harmony, wisdom. And when these gifts are recognized, life becomes colorful again, even after 70. This is the revelation that few have the courage to accept. It is not too late. It's never too late. Happiness can be found again because it has not been lost. It just hid behind habits that no longer serve her. And by understanding this, you are already paving the way for the light to illuminate your journey again. Time is not the enemy. He is a master. And like every teacher, he only asks that you be willing to learn how to live again. But to learn to live again, we must first see the mistakes that hide in our daily lives. They don't arrive with noise. They do not present themselves as declared enemies. They disguise themselves as normality, as routine, as little habits that seem harmless, but that gradually drain your energy and erase your joy. One of these errors is in the nights. How many times have you gone to bed too late, in front of a television or stuck in the lights of a screen? This seemingly simple gesture silently steals the quality of your sleep. The body rests, but the mind does not rest. And the next morning arrives heavy, without vitality, as if the rest had been just an illusion. Another silent mistake is careless eating. Too much sugar, too much salt, a plate full but empty of true nutrition. Each repeated choice on this path not only weighs on the body, but also on the mind. Because food is not just physical fuel, it is energy. It can lighten or cloud, it can calm or agitate, It can nourish or weaken. There is also the invisible error of thoughts that never stop. That inner voice that insists on repeating worries, reliving past pains, predicting fears that may never happen. This mental noise, which seems inevitable, is a thief of peace. And when the mind finds no rest, the heart finds no joy either. These mistakes seem small, but they are the ones that, added together, create the feeling that happiness no longer exists. They are like small cracks in an old house, almost imperceptible at first, but capable of compromising the entire structure over time. Recognizing these mistakes is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you see where the obstacles were, and only then can you choose to remove them from the path. There is no transformation without consciousness, and awareness begins by naming what drains your energy. Imagine if, instead of repeating these silent habits, each night were respected as a temple of rest. Imagine if every food you choose was a gesture of affection for your body. Imagine if every thought was guided by calm rather than worry. Life would have a different rhythm. The mornings would be lighter, and happiness, instead of seeming distant, would be present in every detail of your day. If these words make sense to you, if deep down in your heart you feel that these mistakes describe moments you have already lived, allow yourself to recognize this truth now. And if this message somehow brought clarity, like this video. This simple gesture is more than a sign of support. It's also a reminder to yourself that you choose to value what illuminates, not what dims, your light. Because even the most discreet gestures have power. And when you start replacing silent mistakes with conscious choices, you discover that happiness hasn't gone away. It's always been there, just waiting for you to let it bloom again. And when the light of consciousness is turned on, the opportunity to choose differently also arises. Because, deep down, it's not grand gestures that transform lives, but small habits repeated consistently. It is like the trickle of water that, as it falls every day on the stone, gradually shapes it. The same happens with the body, mind, and spirit. Every simple act, when done with presence, opens space for vitality to flourish again. One of these gestures begins in the morning. When you wake up, instead of getting up in a rush, close your eyes for a moment and breathe deeply. Feel the air enter as if it were a breath of new life. Hold that air for a few seconds and then release it slowly, as if you were handing over all the accumulated weight to the universe. This breath is not just oxygen. She is clarity. She is calm. It is vital energy awakening within you. Another powerful gesture is the food that starts the day. Choosing something fresh, simple, and from nature is like offering your body a blessing. A ripe fruit, a smooth infusion, a food that nourishes without weighing you down. It's not just the taste that matters, but the energy that accompanies this gesture. You don't just feed your body. It also nourishes the spirit, which recognizes this care and expands in gratitude. There is also the importance of silence. Before routine takes over, take a few minutes just to be with yourself. No distractions, no external noises. In this silence, the mind finds rest, the heart aligns, and the body understands that it does not need to live at war with time. It is in silence that harmony is born. It is in this place that the peace that will accompany the rest of the day is planted. And if, during the day, you feel the weight returning, remember, the conscious pause is also a sacred gesture. Closing your eyes for a few moments, taking a deep breath, placing a hand on your chest and feeling your heart beat, all of this restores presence. This simple act reminds you that you are alive, that there is still a flame burning, that there is still life to be lived. These practices do not require physical strength. They don't require youth. They only require decision. The decision to treat yourself with care. To see the body not as an enemy, but as an ally. To see in time not a thief, but a patient master. Those who have come far, in health and serenity, have discovered this. They did not rely on miracles, but on everyday gestures. Small rituals that, when repeated, shaped lighter days, calmer nights, and more serene hearts. Thus, what seemed impossible begins to reveal itself as possible. The energy returns silently. The look regains its shine. The body thanks you with more energy. And life, which seemed gray, regains color, like a landscape illuminated by the sun after the rain. It is in this encounter between simple choices and true presence that happiness finds space again. And when that happens, even after 70, life can be lived not as a burden, but as a gift. Now, Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a peaceful place. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be a garden, a beach, an open field. The important thing is that you feel safe. Take a deep breath, slowly. Let the air in, light as a gentle breeze. Feel it fill your lungs, run through your body, bring clarity. Then, let the air out slowly, as if releasing from within you everything that no longer serves you. At this moment, visualize your mind as a sky. Perhaps, until now, he was covered by heavy clouds of worries, fears, and memories. But little by little, these clouds begin to dissipate. With each breath, a cloud dissipates, and the serene blue of the sky begins to appear. This also happens within you. Turbulent thoughts don't have to dominate your day. Calmly, silently, paying attention to your breathing, they dissolve. And in their place comes clarity, like a horizon illuminated by the morning sun. Now, bring your attention to your heart. Imagine that there is a flame in it. At first, perhaps small, discreet, almost erased. But with each breath this flame grows stronger. It grows, illuminates, warms. And soon you feel this light spreading throughout your body. It reaches your mind, your arms, your legs, every cell. It is an energy that renews and multiplies itself. Allow your body to feel light. Allow yourself to feel calm in your mind. Allow yourself to believe that this flame is real, because it has always been within you. She never went out. She was just waiting for the right moment to shine again. Repeat to yourself, silently or in a low voice. My mind is calm. My body is light. My life is being reborn. These words are like seeds. And every seed, when planted, needs care to grow. Every time you breathe consciously, every time you connect with the inner silence, you water that seed. And little by little it germinates, creating roots of peace, flowers of clarity, fruits of vitality. Now see yourself walking in a green field. The soft grass beneath your feet, the gentle wind on your face, the birdsong echoing all around. This field is not outside of you. It is the representation of what happens inside your soul when it finds balance. It is proof that life can be lived with serenity, even after so many years. Happiness, in this state, is not a fleeting emotion. It is a deep harmony between body, mind, and spirit. It's the feeling of being whole, even with all the marks that time has left. It's realizing that age doesn't steal the inner light. It just shows that this light is stronger than any shadow. Take another deep breath. Feel the calm filling every part of you. Feel the flame of your heart alive and pulsating. Feel the sky of the mind open and clear. And keep within yourself the certainty that this state is not a dream. It is your reality, whenever you choose to go within and reconnect with what is already rightfully yours: peace, vitality, and happiness. And when you discover that calm within yourself, something starts to change. Life doesn't seem so heavy anymore. Days cease to be just a sequence of obligations and pains, and begin to be seen as opportunities for rebirth. You realize that you are not at the mercy of time or circumstances. Within you there is a silent strength, which can be cultivated and strengthened with every choice. This force is vital energy. It is not measured in years, but in presence. It is not lost over time, it only retracts when forgotten. But all it takes is a gesture of care, a conscious breath, a thought of gratitude, and it expands again. It's like a fire that, even reduced to embers, can be rekindled with the slightest breath. Many believe that this energy is a privilege of youth. But the truth is different. She is ageless. It reveals itself in those who learn to respect their bodies, quiet their minds, and embrace their spirits. And those who reach old age with vitality are precisely those who did not let that flame go out. Think about times when you have felt this strength within yourself. Maybe by laughing at something simple. Maybe when hugging someone you love. Perhaps by contemplating nature in silence. In these moments, however brief they may be, life reveals itself to be full. And that's when you realize, happiness hasn't gone away. It remains alive, it just manifests itself in more subtle ways. When you recognize this energy, you also begin to value what really matters more. Small joys gain strength. The smile of a grandson, the aroma of fresh coffee, the golden light of a sunset. All of this becomes food for the soul. And the more the soul is fed, The stronger the body becomes, the clearer the mind becomes, the lighter the walk becomes. Happiness, after 70, is not in searching for what was lost, but in awakening what still remains. It does not live in comparison with the past, but in recognizing the present. And this gift is rich, even with its limitations. He is full of wisdom, calm, and depth. Now, imagine what it would be like if you started cultivating this outlook every day. If, instead of just seeing what's missing, we started to value what's already there. The energy that circulates, the heart that beats, the mind that still learns, the life that continues. This simple movement of consciousness transforms what seemed little into abundance. And if, at this moment, you feel that something inside you was touched by these words, share in the comments. Write what resonates with your own story. Because when you put into words what you feel, you not only strengthen yourself, but also inspire others who walk the same path. And so, this energy doesn't stay stored. It spreads, creates bridges, connects hearts. Happiness is not a privilege of the past. It is a right of now. And when you recognize this, you discover that there is still much to live, much to feel, much to celebrate. Time has not stolen your joy. He just prepared you to see life with more depth, with more truth, with more light. And it is at this point that the wisdom of age reveals itself as a precious gift. During youth, everything seems urgent. The hours fly by, tomorrow never comes, and life gets confused with haste. But after 70, the outlook changes. Time ceases to be just speed and becomes depth. Every simple gesture begins to carry meaning. Every silence holds a lesson. Every memory brings with it a piece of wisdom. This wisdom is not the result of books or theories. It is born from experience. Having experienced losses and also victories. Of having felt the pain and, at the same time, the healing. Having seen difficult days and still having lifted my head to move forward. It is born from the marks that time has left on the body and soul, but which now serve as signs of strength. Many forget to value this. They look at themselves as just someone who is getting older, without realizing that within every wrinkle there is a story. Within each brand, a victory. Within each silence, a lesson. And it is precisely this richness that makes maturity so powerful. Because when you look back and recognize everything you faced, you realize that there is a strength within you that never gave up. She may have been silent, she may have hidden herself at times, but she was always there. And it is this strength that can now be used, not just to survive, but to live fully. Wisdom also teaches that happiness is not found in great achievements. She's in the detail. In the smell of fresh bread in the morning. In the embrace of someone dear. In the heat of the sun warming the skin. In the pleasure of a quiet conversation. All this, which often goes unnoticed in the rush of youth, becomes gold in the eyes of maturity. And it is in this recognition that a new way of being happy is born. It's no longer about chasing after what you don't have, but about being grateful for what is present. It's no longer the search for more time, but gratitude for the time we still have. It is no longer the illusion that the perfect life exists, but the acceptance that real life, with its ups and downs, can be full. Those who go far, with vitality, know this. They don't fight with time. They walk alongside him, learning to reap what each phase has to offer. And so, even at advanced ages, they continue to radiate joy. Not because life was easy, but because they learned to see beauty in the simple. The wisdom of age is a beacon. It illuminates not only your path, but also that of those who come after you. Children, grandchildren, friends, everyone learns from observing someone who lives in serenity, even when the years have piled up. This example is a silent but powerful gift that continues to inspire even when words are unspoken. You carry this wisdom within you. It cannot be stolen by time. It cannot be erased by difficulties. She is your most precious inheritance, the fruit of everything you have ever experienced. And by recognizing this value, you realize that happiness is not a distant privilege. She is here now, in the simple fact of having gone through so many stories and still standing, with her heart open to what life still has to offer. Harmony does not mean living without problems. It is not the absence of pain, nor the complete elimination of difficulties. Harmony is the art of walking lightly, even when the days bring challenges. It's learning to listen to your body, to respect its limits and, at the same time, to welcome your mind and spirit as inseparable parts of a whole. When you find harmony, life stops being a struggle and becomes a flow. The body is no longer an enemy, but an ally. Every pain is heard as a signal. Each pause is respected as an invitation to care. And in this balance, something precious emerges, the feeling that, even after 70, it is still possible to live with joy and serenity. Harmony also arises in the mind. How often do thoughts of worry, guilt, or fear repeat themselves like incessant echoes? They weigh more than any physical effort. But when the mind learns to rest, when you invite it into silence, clarity appears. And clearly, even the pain becomes lighter, because it stops being invisible monsters and becomes just signs to be observed. The spirit also asks for harmony. It feeds on gratitude, on calm, on simple moments. When you learn to accept life as it is, without rebellion, without comparison with the past, a silent peace takes over within. It is not resignation, but rather the understanding that each phase has its beauty, each season brings its lesson. Imagine a river flowing smoothly. It encounters rocks, logs, curves, but it never stops flowing. Don't fight what you find along the way, just adapt and move on. So too is life in harmony. Difficulties exist, but you don't need to be trapped by them. You can learn to get around them, you can learn to flow with the times, without losing your essence. Those who reach old age with vitality are not those who have never had problems. They are the ones who have learned not to carry unnecessary weight. They are those who knew how to choose lightness, even in the midst of storms. Who discovered that smiling, being grateful and remaining silent are more powerful forces than complaining, resisting and revolting. Harmony is also recognizing the beauty that still exists. It's in the aroma of a simple meal, in the spontaneous laughter of someone dear, in the heat of the sun that touches the skin, light wind that cools in the afternoon. These details, often forgotten, are sources of vital energy. They remind us that happiness doesn't disappear, it just changes shape over time. When you learn to live in harmony, you realize that age is not a burden, but a teacher. That the body is not an enemy, but a companion that needs care. That the mind is not a prison, but a garden that flourishes when cultivated with silence and clarity. And that the spirit, even marked by loss and pain, remains strong, full of light and wisdom. Harmony is the bridge between the life you have already lived and the life you can still live. It is balance that transforms each dawn into an opportunity, each breath into a gift, each moment into a new beginning. And when that bridge is crossed, you understand that happiness after 70 is not only possible, it is a daily choice. And now, after all we've been through together, you can feel that something inside you has changed. Maybe it's a relief in the heart. Perhaps it is a reminder that life still has much to offer. Or maybe it's just a breath of hope, gentle but real, that tells you happiness is still possible, even after 70. Throughout this journey, you have seen that age is not a sentence. It is not a wall that impedes, but a road that teaches. He discovered that many of the burdens he carries do not come from time, but from silent mistakes that repeat themselves without realizing it. And he also discovered that by acknowledging these mistakes, space is opened for happiness to blossom again. Every word that reached you was like a key. And if you've been paying attention, you might feel that some of these keys have already begun to open forgotten doors within you. Doors that reveal calm. Doors that reveal vitality. Doors that reveal the wisdom you carry and may have forgotten. Happiness is not something distant. It is not lost in the past, nor hidden in an uncertain future. She is here, in the present. It's in the air you breathe right now. It's in the heart that keeps beating inside you. It's in the simple fact that you're alive and have heard this message through to the end. And so, feel privileged. Few get here. Few allow themselves to open their ears and hearts to true transformation. But you arrived. You remained. And this already shows your courage and your willingness to live differently. Now, it's time to honor that choice. To keep the flame burning. To continue walking towards a life of more clarity, more harmony, more energy. And you don't have to do it alone. We are on this journey together. So, subscribe, like, and comment on what touched you most in this video. Not just as a gesture of support, but as a commitment to yourself. A commitment that you choose not to let this transformation fade away. By subscribing, you ensure that new reminders of light and wisdom will continue to reach you. By liking it, you reinforced to yourself that you value this path of clarity and vitality. And by commenting, you not only share your voice, but you also inspire others who need this same message. Each word of yours can be the spark that lights the flame in someone who feels lost today. Time is not the enemy. He is a patient teacher, just waiting for you to grasp his lesson. And now, you've noticed her. You know that happiness does not depend on age. Know that mistakes can be corrected. You know that even after 70, there is still a world of possibilities within you. From this moment on, choose to live lightly. Choose to see in the mornings not just the sunrise, but the rebirth of yourself. Choose to honor every breath, every step, every smile. Because happiness didn't go away, it was always here, waiting for you to invite it back. And today, you invited her. Today, you allowed the transformation to begin. And it will continue, because life always rewards those who decide to flourish, even after so many storms. This is your moment. And it starts now.